So what exactly is a relational database? Well, a relational database is a database which consists of a collection of tables that store sets of data. Let's look at an image that represents a relational database. So you see here, we've got our database. That database is typically named as something that is similar to the website, or the user that owns the website, or something familiar like that. Next, you have one or more tables that the database contains. These tables are uniquely named as well. Each table is structured with a number of columns. These columns define the type of data that is contained within them. These types are similar to the PHP types that we learned, but there is a wider range of them, and MySQL is much stricter about the types. Finally, within each of the tables, there are a list of rows containing data. These are organized, as you see here, similar to a spreadsheet. Each row contains data for each of the columns that define the table. This is also called a two-dimensional table because you have a relationship only between the column and the row. Tables can be related to each other in a few different ways. This is a very important concept to understand. The simplest relationship is a one-to-one relationship. In the one-to-one relationship, a record in a table is related to one record in another table. So one column is related directly to another column, meaning that they're the same type and contain the same data. A many-to-one relationship is many records in one table relating to one record in another. So for example, if this was, say, a first name and a last name related to a name column, first and last name together relate to a name. In a one-to-many relationship, one record is related to many records in another table. So that's when one record would be related to more than one record in another table. Finally, in many-to-many relationship, many records in one table are related to many records in another table. So this record may be related to this record may be related to this record, and this record may be related to that one. Confused? Don't worry, relationships will be much easier to understand when we actually start creating tables. In order to have a relationship, you need what is called a key to relate between tables. This can be one or more columns that combine to form a unique identifier for a row that is duplicated in another table. That is the relationship between the two, that unique key or identifier. Typically, a key is a single row that contains a unique identifier, an incrementing number, a customer ID, or some other unique bit of data. Generally speaking, you do not need to deeply understand relational databases to use MySQL, but you should have knowledge of how the databases are structured and how they can be related to one another, as that forms the basis of how we are going to store and access MySQL data from PHP.